Angela Lin, creator of Happy Abundant Freedom. In this video, I want to share with you how to deal with failures in your life and how to turn them into successes. Now, what does failure mean? Well, according to definition, failure is the lack of success or the omission of the required action to succeed. And so, essentially, that just means that failures allow us to know what we shouldn't do, and it allows us to get closer to the step of figuring out what we should do to succeed. Now let's take a look at what Thomas Edison thought of failure. So Edison, who invented the light bulb, he had to go through 1,000 prototypes before he was able to invent the successful light bulb that we have today. And so when the reporter came and asked him, "So how does it feel to have failed 1,000 times?" Thomas Edison simply replied, "The light bulb took 1,000 steps to invent." You see, Edison didn't think of his failures as really just failures. What he thought of them were merely steps on your way to success. So, yes, it didn't work after the first time, the second time, the third time, the 10th time, the 100th time that he failed to produce the light bulb successfully. But what that did allow him to do is figure out what are the steps necessary for modification so that he would get closer to the successful prototype. And so, really, if you think about failure in this sense, in the way that Edison's mind worked, was that every failure that you come across, it's not a failure. It's simply a step on your way to success. And in my opinion, a failure is only a failure if you didn't learn from it. If you failed and you don't know where you went wrong, so that you don't know how to avoid this failure next time, that's where you truly failed. But when you look at your failure and you figured out, okay, this is where I went wrong, this is how I can improve next time, and then the next time you go to approach that, you improve upon it, well then, that's not a failure. That's simply a step on your way to success, just like the 1,000 steps that Edison had to take to get to his successful light bulb. And so I want to share my story with you, where I was really interested in learning about how to get rich when I was a teenager. So I read lots of books, and I learned that I should invest in stocks. So I read a bunch of books on investing in stocks, and I think at the time I only had about $1,000 to invest when I was a teenager. So I invested in long-term growth stocks, which had good low debt, dividends, and I did that for 2-3 years. And I got a pretty good return because of the economy and because of the strategies that I implemented. Now, when I went into university, I learned about day trading in my business class. And I thought to myself, hey, day trading. Wow, you can actually make a lot of money doing day trading. Maybe even more money faster than what I was doing with my longer term value stocks. And so I decided to try day trading. And because I was in Calgary, so our city has a lot of oil and gas, and so that's why I decided to day trade in. And most people, when they start out, maybe they day trade, they decide to day trade stocks, fluctuation. It does fluctuate from day to day, but not that much. I decided I want to get a bigger gain, so I decided to invest in commodities, which fluctuates a lot. So oil and gas, fluctuation every day, big fluctuations. Now, what I also decided to do was, I was thinking, hey, you know what? I want to double my chances of gains. So I decided to invest in an ETF that is 2 times the gain or loss of commodity. So not only was I trading something that's already fairly risky, but and I didn't know much about it, so that's why it was risky, but I was also doubling my possibility of gain or loss. So I read a lot of books and I day traded, and in the beginning I was doing really well, made lots of money. But here's what happened. I actually ended up day trading, and it would stress me out so much because the fluctuations were so big, and not only that, I doubled my chances of gain or loss. So I stressed out pretty much every day, and sometimes I had tears because I lost so much money. And I tried that for 2 years. And at the end of the 2 years, I lost $18,000 in day trading. And maybe that might not be a lot to you, but for a 21-year-old who didn't necessarily make that much money, that's a lot of money to lose when you're 21 years old. And I was really upset. I mean, losing $18,000 over 2 years, that's a lot of money. And so I was really upset. I was mad at myself. I was upset at myself. And I cried, but I also came to think about, well, what could I learn from this failure? Well, here's what I learned. Day trading isn't for me. Even though I had systems in place, I didn't always follow them. I was slightly too emotional for day trading. Alright, got that? And also, here's the thing. I am still young. At 21 years old, yes, it feels really bad to have lost $18,000, but for over the rest of my life, I could probably make that back. And better yet, I didn't lose even more money, where perhaps later on in life, never had this experience of day trading. I decided to go into the market with a lot of my savings. That would be really bad because, like, for example, my grandpa, he went into the stock market when he was in his 70s just to maybe see if he can make some money, and he lost a lot of money. And a lot of that was his life savings. So now, just being 21, I'm good. I'm glad that I found out that I wasn't meant for day trading. So that's what I learned. I wasn't meant for day trading, and I should probably do something else. So I went back to my longer-term investing of stocks that had more steady growth and that were paying dividends, and real estate. And now I have a rental property along with my stock portfolio invested in long-term dividend stocks, which has allowed me to have less stress in my life, and it's given me much better returns. So I was happier, and I had more financial abundance in my life, and more free time, as opposed to just watching the markets every day. So really, the key is to learn what did you do wrong in this failure, and what can you do next time so that you can improve upon it, so that you're closer to success. So what I want you to do is to think of an area that you recently had a failure in. Alright? Perhaps it's your relationships, your career, your health, other aspects of your life. Whatever that area may be, what is that failure that you had? And what can you learn from it? What do you know not to do next time? Or what could you do next time so that you can improve on it? And once you figure that out, then simply carry out that action so that you can step your way closer to success. So I want you to share this video with a friend or family member who maybe had a big failure in their life recently, and they're trying to get over it, or maybe they're feeling really upset or bad about it. You can share this video with them just to show them how they can turn that failure into success. And please, post in the comment section below what you've learned from your failure and what you're going to do about it next time, so that you can get closer to success. So please post that in the comment section below. And in the meantime, here's to you creating more happiness, abundance, and freedom in your life and your community.